o'clock. Oops. Did everybody bring their strategic plan with them?
Yes.
What's that?
What?
What's that?
You know what that is. Okay, Vanderbrink,
Here.
Page,
Yes.
Schatzinger.
Here.
Gatsky.
Here.
Krieger,
Here.
Iverson.
Here.
Sorensen, here. Everyone is here. There isn't a, did you all get the amended agenda?
I got a second envelope.
Good.
I don't know if I did.
I did.
Was
How do I
emailed
print
out by
that?
Karen.
Email.
Yeah, so I brought the one that was not emailed. I did not print it one.
I got the one others.
Well, yeah, I have her drive Tom's out and yours now because I want to make sure you get them. And you're having problems with email.
Correct.
So that's why you
Me
get them
too.
hand delivered.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. I want everybody to have all the information. Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda? It's amended and under new business is the CLA contract, for those of you who don't have the new amended agenda.
I'll move to approve the amended agenda.
Thank you, Jonathan. Is there a second? Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I don't believe we have anyone here for public comment. So we'll move on to the secretary's report. Does everybody have a copy? You don't have it electronically. It came in too late to be included in the
Yeah, that's
packet.
me.
No.
So, I figured out, it took me about 20 minutes to figure out how to print it. Cause for some reason it didn't, I don't know, Doug, it just didn't come through
That's weird.
right.
I'll try something different next time.
Heather couldn't print it either.
Well, that's really weird.
So I had to,
Okay.
I spent a lot of time this afternoon going between 3 different devices to figure out how
All
to
right,
print stuff.
So the report is the minutes that were on the table for us when we came in. Is that what we're talking
Right.
about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Schatzinger is spelled incorrectly and needs to be fixed on approved agenda. I was not I wasn't on the phone yet while you guys did this, so I'm gonna have to rely on anybody else to see if there are any changes.
I was late, I didn't get the change in the meeting time, and that's not reflected that I
I
got here.
thought it was.
Which is now your, getting them driven up to you. It just says he came in later.
I did write that down when you came in.
Okay, that's not a problem, I'm just.
Right.
No, you can't, you wouldn't be on here because they had gone into closed session
Yep,
when
you
you
came
got
in, you
here.
came in after.
Right, I
So,
came in during the closed session.
yeah,
Right.
but that,
These are the open minutes. so-
yeah, these are the open minutes.
I know it's a small thing. I'm just asking the group under 7, approve moving assistant chief. Should it be approved as in the past tense, if it was minutes that it was approved versus approve? It makes it sound like it, I mean, I guess. Motion
It
to
should say motion passed. Approve moving assistant chief office job to full-time exempt salary position. It should not say action item, it should say passed unanimously.
Which one?
The bottom of the
7.
first page.
7? I thought I copied it directly from the agenda.
But
You did.
you're
Oh.
taking action on the agenda, so you
Right.
have to say what you have action item, but what was the action?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, way on the back?
Back side.
Oh, motion carries. I see.
Yeah, motion
Okay.
carried, 6-0.
I see.
Yeah, sorry, it's just maybe
Oh,
not.
I see what you did.
I see.
I
see
just,
what you did.
I followed the agenda and I just, A, B, and I thought that was
So
simple.
you have it on the second page.
Yeah, it's on the
Thank you,
second
Doug.
page.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I fixed your name, Jolene, I'm sorry, I got it wrong.
That's okay.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Gary.
A second.
Thank you, Jonathan. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. The treasurer's report. There's a little hitch with this, and Heather and I talked about it. The fire protection fees for municipalities should be well over $200,000. There's nothing in there right now. It's half of what the $438,213 is, because you all have paid that. So we're actually at our gross revenue is 44%. If that makes sense. And then I think you have a check register too.
So, when under loyalty, it says Microsoft Exchange, and then the Horicon Bank earlier, it was Google Suite fee. That was because we needed to have that. Is a Microsoft Exchange saying that we're moving to Microsoft? So in the future, we won't have this bill for Google Suite, or no?
We will have a bill, I believe, for Google, simply because it's hosted, it may be less, it's hosted, the website is hosted on a Google platform.
Oh, I see.
We've had a lot of difficulty straightening that out. I don't know if we even have access to it yet. That's sort of the problem when you job out different things to different people and there's no centralized location for it. We know there's a website, we've seen it, but we need access to it.
So the upstairs doors in there? Cody, is the upstairs door in?
I think so.
So it looks like we paid for it. Just curiosity, what's repair our flashlights for $25? What are we repairing on a flashlight?
We had some problems with our flashlights that weren't working, so we had to send them in.
Are they like specialized ones or?
There are fire department flashlights that we use.
Okay. And what's a posse check? P-O-S-I? And flow tested the scuba and repaired the battery port. What's that? What kind of equipment are we talking about there?
I think that's combined, or positive, or maybe Donovan can answer the question, but I think that's our
SCBA.
SCBA's for pressure testing of them,
Oh, okay.
and then the flow test of those, and then the repair on that battery board. Our flashlights are lifetime warranty, so we just found that out, so we sent them in, they repair them for free. This board was, said, I can't remember what that battery board was about. That was, I think that was on the SCBA backpack.
Okay.
Battery board.
SCBA backpack. They, when they came to do the checking, the yearly checking of them, they found that the battery board was bad, so they took it back, fixed it, and then brought it back.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
So you're getting a refund on the flashlights, or that was the amount to ship them back and forth for $25?
That was the amount to ship them back and forth.
Yeah.
If there are no more questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the finance report as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the finance report as presented.
Okay.
I'll
For
second
a
it.
second. Thank you, Tom. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, the next item is accept a Webster grant of $1,600, and Heather reminded me that we had asked the board for permission to write the grant back in December. So you did give authorization to write the grant. We were awarded $1,600. We talked about this before because it wasn't on the agenda in February, Seeing Through Walls. And then the association was going to match that.
Yes, the association voted that they would buy the other, so we'd have two.
Two new ones. And we have talked to the police department, who was not aware that we had thermal imaging cameras, and they would be happy to use them if they need them in the future. So that was that helps when you can leverage a grant to indicate other entities will be, you guys can use it too if you need it. You're welcome. You too. Because you have your own police department.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and then, you don't, okay, but the drone operator will come out and operate it for you. So, yeah, just as long as you have a body temperature, it'll be fine.
That's
Gary?
questionable.
No, we don't look for Gary.
So I would entertain a motion to accept the $1,600 for Seeing Through Walls.
I make a motion to accept the $1,600 for Seeing Through Walls.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jolene. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Okay, unanimous. Chief's report.
We'll start off with the department staffing and morale. I do believe morale is actually on the up. It's gotten a lot better. We're all participating in training better. We're communicating better. We just had an officers meeting last week to discuss some of this stuff. So the morale is up. Department staffing, we're looking at a possible new hire here at the bottom of the page, or bottom of the section, I mean. So we'll get into that when we get down to there, but staffing right now is the same as it was before. Certification updates. We still have them 3 in school. Until they get out, we won't have any certification updates on that until they graduate. Monthly calls for service, we just got that handed to you.
You had a fire today.
We did, yes. We had one last week Friday as well.
Okay.
Did it make it more difficult with the weather?
Last
Today.
Friday, or just today?
Today.
Today, no.
The city crew did a good job cleaning the streets, so we had no problem.
They've been out for quite a while. How does this compare to last year's total
Oh,
calls
I
at this
didn't
time?
look at it. I believe we're above last year's calls. I just didn't get the exact amount.
You kinda had a busy day fighting fires.
So just kind of a recap on the back page here, kind of what we've been up to and what we've been doing. Any questions on the monthly calls?
Some of those, you have an LA behind them?
On the last page, it'll explain that they're
Oh, lift assist.
yeah, a lift assist.
I guess for those listening, is there anything, being that I know a number of places had some electricity out, when there's down power lines, is there anything to say to those who might be listening as far as obviously stay away from it and
Yep,
All emergency.
general rule is to stay away from
Yeah.
any down power lines, and you don't know if it's a power line or if it's a cable utility, telephone, or you know what it is, yeah, so you have to stay away from all of those. And we didn't have too many yesterday, we had a couple that were minor.
Yeah, talked to him, he was
Yeah.
on call last night.
Some minor ones.
Yeah. Yep.
Took care of one myself.
Perfect. Was that the one on Grove Street?
Bellevue.
Oh, fire inspection update. Donovan can,
I haven't talked to Tyler, he was out doing inspections Monday, and, I think they did some more yesterday, before the snow got really bad. They've been plugging away, it's like every time Tyler is on, he's on 1 or 2 days a week. So they're trying to get between 6 and 10 done a day. They're
And
trying
we
to.
have over 400
Yeah.
to do twice a year.
Right, so they're plugging away at him. I wanna say if I had to guesstimate, I'd probably say he's probably up to 120,
So
130
it's about
inspections.
25%
Yeah,
finished
he's,
with the first.
but yeah, they keep plugging away at him, so.
I have heard good reports on him.
The business community is very happy with how they've conducted them and how personable they are. And they make it easier for the businesses to understand what they need to do to
That
fix
was the
stuff.
big thing. He
Yeah.
said, you know, a lot of times before, you can't do that, and that was it, they just marked you. Now, they're willing to talk to you and tell you what it should be, or
Yep.
give suggestions. But I've heard positive feedback on it. So.
Good.
yeah, I get people calling me asking, you know, what they need to do or how to fix the problem and,
Right.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm getting feedback too, so. Yep, Tyler's doing a good job and so is the other guy.
Yeah, funky.
I guess just a question, you said he's over 25%, say 25% done with round one, but we're 25% done with the year. So is that gonna be an issue? Cause I mean, shouldn't it be 50%
We're
done?
not 25% done with the year because it's about 800 plus.
It's about, yeah, it's about-
25% done with the calendar year.
He's 25% done with the first inspection.
Right, so
Yeah,
we're
that's your
behind,
point.
we're
Yeah.
behind, we're
We're
behind.
That's our
behind.
point.
Yeah.
But because of how his hours worked last year, because I have to deal with that rolling calendar for his hours, so like next month I can put him on more because he'll have more hours coming off.
He
He
can't
put more
work
hours
more
on
than
last year.
1,200
1,200
hours,
hours
and
in a
stays
cal- in a
under the
rolling year.
Wisconsin retirement.
Okay, so he'll have more time.
So he'll have more hours next month to do, so it's just a matter of how I can
Finagle
schedule
it.
them,
Sure.
so.
Okay.
SOP, we have an SOP we wanna, adopt, I guess. And it's about appearance and uniform. Thank you.
This kind of goes hand in hand with another thing Tyler's working on, and that's, setting up the, web store so that we can order our uniforms online. So we don't have to keep stock in hand. We can just go online and order what, like, if one of us needs a shirt, we can go online and order it. Instead of having to wait for a big order to be done and come in and stuff like that. So that kind of drove us having to write up a policy about the uniform.
Uniform. And basically, we've been following this for years already.
Right, yeah, it's just, now that it's in writing.
It's in writing, correct.
Yes, Doug?
I have a question here at the very end. They're buying their own uniforms and stuff? They're purchasing it themselves?
Well, not their first set. The first set that, like, when a new hire comes on, we give them a code and then they get X amount of money towards their first uniform.
Okay,
It's
but,
in the budget.
okay, but at the very end it says, when an employee of the department leaves, all their clothing they have in their possession must be turned into the quartermaster, even if they bought it themselves?
Because it has our logo on it, yes.
What if they, is there any provision to take the logo off?
Mm,
So they just have to turn them in?
yes.
Okay.
Like that shirt there that Cody's wearing, it's hard to take that logo off because it's
It's screen
screen
printed.
printed on here, or it's, yeah.
We'll just put a little patch on it. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I don't have any other questions.
Not comparing.
Apples to apples.
Yep.
No shorts.
And I added that one for everybody, so if you want me to.
You can wear shorts, shorts are on here.
Shorts on
Not
there.
for Cody.
Yep.
Not for Cody.
Question about tattoos, piercings. It says, while on duty, tattoos will only be displayed on the arms and legs while in uniform. No other visible tattoos are authorized. Well, if someone's working and they have a tattoo on, somewhere, does that mean we're not gonna hire them? I mean, theoretically, if someone is here and has a tattoo somewhere where they can't cover it, let's say on their face, what do? So they're in non-compliance, and what does that mean?
I guess we'll have to wait and see what the tattoo is, what it, and stuff, and I know some businesses make you cover them up with Band-Aids. I guess I don't know where you got this off of.
It was another fire department's, and I adapted it to ours. And it's, I guess it's like all under review of the chief. If the chief, it kind of comes down to if it's profanity words or
Offensive.
something offensive to, then it's, yeah, no. But if, I guess it all depends on what the tattoo is.
Right.
I think, why do I ask? So first of all, I think it's good that we're thinking about how we look professional, and I think that's always a good thing and can build some camaraderie. I think of two things. One is, as a board, we have to think about that we make sure we're not legally in problem with anything, right? I mean, have we had someone look over this? Are we in,
This is what other fire departments do.
I understand that. I'm not sure that makes me feel that much, better, as far as, are we, if someone has a tattoo on their face, by adopting this policy, are we saying that theoretically they can be discriminated against, to say we're not gonna hire them because we now have this policy, and is that even legal? I'm not someone legally looking.
I get your point there, with being discriminated
Yeah.
towards them or whatever, but, obviously, I guess it would come down to the discretion, we could reword this, so it states in there, it's gonna come down to the discretion of what the tattoo is, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can change it.
I suppose if it says mom, it's okay.
This is mom.
Yeah. Right above
Okay, Doug.
I guess just as long as we agree, or the board president thinks that this is, that we're not causing us to be in any sort of discrimination or opening ourselves
I
up
think it's
to.
probably less restrictive than businesses have. Like my business has a more restrictive policy than this,
Okay.
so legally,
Doug?
Let's just do this, and if there's a problem, we'll come back and look at it.
Great.
I can't.
Okay, because it's just a policy. We're trying to bring uniformity to this department in writing. And if it turns out there's a problem and it's something that we need to attend to, we'll attend to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can always bring it back and say we want to amend the
Right.
SOP.
This doesn't
Take
work,
this on or
this doesn't work right, but.
Well, and Jonathan has a good point too, because many businesses are more restrictive.
Mhm.
And this is a paramilitary organization, and the military has strict codes about tattoos. So, this is actually pretty generous. Are there any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept this SOP.
I so move.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Doug. Is there any more discussion?
Can you remind me, in the policy book, if someone has an issue, if someone feels, let's say, theoretically singled out by something on here, I don't know. This, again, all looks pretty straightforward to me, I'm in support of it in general. But if someone feels singled out that, something, do they know clearly who they go to? Do they go to the chief directly, or is that somewhere in the policy of who to
Well,
go to?
we're working on our
We're
policies
working on
and
it.
procedures. The attorney has them for review right now.
Yeah. So once
That's in my job.
But I do believe
Okay.
it is in his job.
yeah, it is in his job description.
Okay, great.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
The next thing on here is our air compressor. Our SCBA, which is our air tanks we wear on our backs when we're fighting fires. Our air compressor upstairs has decided to go south. It is in disrepair, basically. They were here to service it, and the pistons are out of it. There's metal floating around in there. It's in disrepair. And that air compressor came from the old station back in '93, I believe it was.
30 years, we figured out it's 30 years old.
So it's 30 years old, and that air compressor is high pressure. It takes our air bottles up to 4,500 pounds, but the compressor runs up to 6,000 pounds. So your normal air compressor you have in your garage is like 125 pounds. So to put this in perspective, it's a pretty high-tech air compressor. And it's got different stages to get this pressure built up this high in the system. So Cooper, which is one of our engineers and maintenance man down here, started to look into what it's going to cost to buy a new one or get a new one to replace the one upstairs. So right now we have two quotes here. Is he waiting on a third? I think he was waiting on another.
Yeah, he had asked another one, but he hadn't gotten it yet.
And I'm glad we're all sitting down because it's kind of expensive. To read, and I can hand these out and have you guys go around or look at it too here. Once I get done here. So to replace the stuff upstairs on one of these quotes and the filling station, you're looking at, and this is installed, round trip travel, labor, setup, testing, training, delivery and placement of equipment is included. Customer is responsible for hooking up electrical. Other than that, it looks like the rest is all installed by them. So this quote here is, with the filling station, it's $52,189.55. And this is through Breathing Air Systems. And they're out of all over the place.
I think their main one, well, their closest one to us is Illinois.
Illinois, yeah.
Yeah. He said they had a very hard time finding people. So I've got another one that you guys want of the quote he just has. I don't have the other one.
And then this is another quote we got from McQueen. McQueen is the one that did our maintenance on it. This one here does not include the filling station.
Do we need it?
Eventually.
Eventually, yes, we will need one. Yeah, we will need one eventually.
Yeah,
So,
what we're doing, I don't think is.
How did, somebody worded that it's passing, but we're not putting we need a better system. We need to be more safe with our system.
this one here says too, we're in charge of the electrical and plumbing fresh air intake are the responsibility of the owners, fill station and compressor. But fill station it says fill station on here, but
Do they have a dollar amount next to it?
they do not. No.
Just saying that
It's available apparently.
we're
It's
gonna
in
need one.
parentheses, so. And this one here with no filling station, looks like basically the same as with that one Eric's quoting us on without a filling station, is 21,000.
Nope. That's a
39?
refurbished one.
Oh, 31,000, right? Oh, I gotta turn the page.
Yep.
35,000?
This one is 35,338.58.
The other one is a refurbished one.
So we have three
The
prices.
21,000 is a
Oh,
refurbished
okay.
one.
But that one doesn't have a filling station.
That one doesn't have the filling station attached to it, no. They didn't give us a quote for the filling station.
Was there a refurbished quote on that?
Mm-mm.
Just on this one, McQueen had a refurbished?
Yeah, they don't do refurbished. McQueen has a company that they know does refurbished.
So they can get one for us if we wanted to.
And where are you suggesting, I'm looking at the budget right now. I'm looking at the budget right now. Where are you suggesting we pay for this?
I don't know,
Because it's
because
looking
I look
like
at the
we don't,
budget and I'm like,
we don't have a lot of wiggle room.
No.
It looks like it would have to come out of the money market account.
And
Do you know the,
Is the filling station, the cascade system, 4 cylinders with full nozzle?
Mhm.
That's the filling
Yeah.
station?
you have to explain that one to me, Barry. Should we go back and ask the municipalities for us? Do we do it by percentage or what do we, how do we do
Just
it?
like the slaughter, the whole budget. Ours is 18.9 and theirs is 7 point something, and your case is whatever, 7, whatever.
77. I don't know if the city would,
Been done before.
has it?
Yes.
So,
Because we use our contingency on what? What was it,
our
remind me?
we only have a $10,000 contingency.
Until we have that available, we haven't used that yet, have we?
I don't believe so.
But I mean, that's what this would be for,
But-
right?
part of it,
I'm,
short goal.
I guess what I might want to propose is, just getting the compressor and then maybe going to like Firehouse Subs or something for a grant for the filling station.
I thought of that one even for like the compressor, but
We,
How much
we
is
can't
the
wait,
filling station?
well,
10,000.
does it say on here?
35.
well, no, because it's like 35,000 for, no, 35,000 for the compressor and then the difference between 35,000 and 52.
Oh, it's like 20,000.
Cascade
It's
system.
like 20,000, but with
Yeah,
every
we
hookup
could-
and everything.
Yeah, we could write for that for Firehouse, right?
That's what I'm, I'm just like,
But we still have to decide.
right, on the compressor, I get it, but I'm just like, that kind of
Yeah, because we were,
lowers it down
you
from the
wanted to write,
52,000.
she wants to write for a Firehouse grant anyway.
So, I'm just,
So question, municipalities, they all have their compressors.
Right, so right now,
Would
when,
that work for a little while?
which compressor?
All right, no, would it work like to fill those bottles somewhere else or you have to have?
I'm just gonna get into that. So if we deplete our bottles, let's say we have structure fire, and we deplete all of our bottles, we can fill some of the bottles for a while off of Squad 18. Squad 18 has a cascade system on it as well with 6 bottles on it. But once that is empty, then we have to take it somewhere and have it filled. One of the neighboring departments has one. We could probably use it, but it's gonna take 4 to 5 hours to fill that if we empty that system. So you'd have to take it over there, drop it off, pick them up, then bring them back, and then go back in 5 hours. So we can get away with it for now, yes. So there is a little time.
And why couldn't we always get away with that?
Well,
They run out.
Could we run out? If we have a
They run
structure
out.
fire, our bottles will go empty, and then we can't go back in.
yeah, we can't just use someone else's equipment.
No, can't keep doing that.
Could do, well, a little bit maybe.
Yeah,
We haven't even asked.
Well, I
so.
think,
We asked them,
yeah,
we
we're
do.
gonna have to buy a compressor, we gotta buy a
Eventually, we're gonna have
compressor.
to buy a compressor.
So,
I don't think
and
it's-
it would be better if we do it sooner rather than later.
Right.
because then sure prices will go up as,
Right,
Because you had a fire today that was inside,
yeah, we use 2 air bottles.
so we don't wanna shorten, I mean, even if we order it, it'll take time to get here.
Even for trainings,
Coop,
we're not using any air on trainings either now.
Coop
Survey
said,
air.
one person said it would take 6 to 8 weeks. I think it was the, not the McQueen quote, the other one. He said it's a lead time of 6 to 8 weeks to get it. And then the other one, they didn't give me a lead time.
Can you use the filling station you have with a new compressor?
Yes.
Yes, the filling station is, the one we have now is open. So like if something happens and a bottle explodes, it's not safe for us, it could.
Yeah.
Where the new filling station would be enclosed, so like the bottles go in, they fill, when they're done filling, they open it up and we take the bottles out. So it's used, the filling station we have now is usable. It's just eventually, somebody's gonna come in and say, you need to get a more safe filling station.
Yeah.
This isn't up to par.
So I think probably to make sure that we have safety in place for our firefighters, we may have to make a decision tonight. And then could we go back to the municipalities and see about reimbursement then?
Yeah. I think you're better off
Just buying
doing it
it?
right away.
What do we have in the money market account? Do you remember?
I can go find out.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it lately.
You see anything on there about warranty on that one?
That's what I do. So one of them says 5 years.
Yeah, this one says
Which
5
This
years.
one doesn't.
Okay,
That's actually what I was
so-
just looking for.
Yeah,
So,
I was looking for that.
Okay, yeah, McQueen's didn't give me their warranty. In fact, the other one, this one, it's if we use their service system, they give a 2-year warranty, but if we use their service, which I think is cheaper than the McQueen service, I have to double check that.
For an annual service you're talking?
Yeah, the annual service, it extends it out to a 5-year warranty, from what Cooper told me. And if you have any questions, Cooper has talked to most of these people, so we can always call him. He just couldn't make it to the meeting tonight.
It says see attachment for warranty, so I'm not sure it's
There was a
included.
bigger one.
Oh,
There was like,
yeah, so you must have it then, there you go.
I guess I was just wondering on the McQueen and the refurbished, if the refurbished had the same warranty that the new one had.
I don't think it does, but she's made it sound. It doesn't say it in there where it says refurbished, does it? Would it come with a warranty?
So did we ask McQueen if they had a way to move the filling station up to meet code? I mean, otherwise they're gonna lose everyone's business.
I don't think there's any way. I mean, sounds like an engineering issue, the design and engineering.
Right now, we just put tanks in and fill. So it's a table.
I get that, it doesn't sound safe at all, but you would assume that McQueen would have an idea on how to get it up to code, otherwise they're gonna lose.
We think
Clients.
that's why we're gonna buy a new one.
And I'm not sure why McQueen didn't offer a
Yeah.
filling station. I don't, because Cooper is the one that took care of this.
Maybe just ask for a proposal,
Yeah, it could very well be.
maybe, because that's what he's after.
Yes, sir.
I think we should just, right, tonight, focus on that compressor and moving that forward. And we can discuss the breathing, the filling station, maybe next month. And what we decide with that, if that's any way that could be refurbished so that it's safer. I kind of have my doubts just because of the age of the equipment. If that compressor was about 30 years old, I can't believe that filling station's any newer.
Do they give you a discount because of the whole package, do you know, if you only buy one? I don't see that.
What do you mean?
Like if you only buy the compressor without the filling, do you get a discount if you buy both from this
I
company?
doubt it.
Do you know that?
From that company?
Well, this one didn't offer it. Any company, I
A
guess.
discount,
hang on.
a discount if we,
Buy the whole package.
They did send me a thing on their
Right
warranty.
now, we have $317,611.95 in the money market. But we're also rewriting our policies and procedures, and one of the items in there is to keep 20% of our operating budget in here. Plus, some of this is already donated money that's restricted.
And the rest of it's probably supposed to be capital fund.
We know what we've got, you're right, there's certain monies that's reserved for the capital fund,
So what-
32,000.
What is our capital fund right now?
For equipment,
Yeah.
32,000, according to the auditors.
That's the stuff that, this is the kind of stuff that was supposed to help us out.
So we could take 30 out of that capital fund, because it is equipment.
Well, we should be putting some back in.
We do at the end of the year, it's gone
That
up.
would take a long time.
It went up 5,000 from the previous year. Yeah, because it was, I think it was 29,000 when I started, and it's 32, that's what the auditors reported. It's not much, but if we had budgets that didn't run over,
There's no
it,
break if we buy it.
'cause I-
Well, and there's everything what you were
How do you know
supposed to
your
do.
current one? Is your
yeah,
current one
we're using
300?
38,000 of that for balancing the budget this year, that's, we've been going down.
Of the
Because I didn't,
money
because I
market.
thought we were just
Yeah.
looking at a compressor.
No.
I'm not.
Without you, right.
Right,
I'm assuming it.
right, that's what,
Yeah.
so I guess when Cooper called for his, McQueen's was sent to me because the McQueen guy was here and let the guy know that we needed a quote, because ours wasn't working. And then Cooper called around to the other places to get a quote.
And McQueen is the 52,000?
No, they're the 35
They're the
without
35?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks here like.
That was, the 35 is not refurbished, that's a new one. If we went with a refurbished, it would be like 25.
With,
Put it
yeah,
on
it's
those.
just the compressor without the fill station, and then, Heather is suggesting we write, we'll have to bring this to the board next month, that we would write a grant for the fill station.
Jolene, getting to your warranty on McQueen, it says here, the warranty is contingent upon buyer's proper storage, installation, maintenance, and operation of the product. So, they got silver and gold, you can get different packages back here, depending upon how big your checkbook is, I guess. So, I wouldn't think we have to go over to silver.
No. Cooper, when Cooper read it over the other day, he said that he thought that the silver package would be plenty for what we use it for.
So ultimately, if we went with this new breathing air systems, which sounds like they have, again, they're in multiple states, making sure up to code. But that would mean that McQueen, who currently services us, we would have to probably move away from them. We probably wouldn't have that same,
Correct, because this company would service us then, under that warranty policy. We could get that and extend our warranty out 5 years, right?
Yeah,
From what I
from what
read.
Cooper said,
Yeah.
yes.
So I guess after the warranty is done, we could go back with McQueen if they wanted to do it. But I would just stay with who we had.
Well, McQueen isn't going to service something they didn't put in.
They didn't put that one in up there either.
Oh, they didn't?
No,
Oh.
well,
It's 30 years old.
the thing was that McQueen used to be 5 Alarm, and so I think 5 Alarm serviced
Okay,
the thing, and then when they bought out 5 Alarm, they kind of serviced it because 5 Alarm did.
But, yeah, your furnace in your house, you got into a comment, you just wanted to switch to drawer, drawer coming. They do the maintenance on it.
well, what is your pleasure, folks? Did you want to make a motion for something?
We want to pick a specific one, or just a dollar amount?
I think you should pick a specific one and the dollar amount.
One question yet, John, okay, so if this other company that's out of state comes, what's it gonna cost just to get them to come up and service this thing?
They include, to service,
What is our service? We could
They,
charge,
I believe, let me see if.
well, McQueen was charging us to come up here to do it.
I
You know,
think-
and they get us on a schedule, because there's other departments in the area that might,
Yeah.
coincide with when they're in the area, so,
But I'm just saying, if we were the only ones.
right?
They're up in our area every September, the one out of Illinois. Cooper did get that information, he texted it to me.
so there are other departments in the area that have this breathing air systems, we know that for sure.
They said, according to what Cooper said, is they're up in our area every September to do preventative maintenance services.
To answer your question, Julian, I don't know who has breathing air systems in the neighboring departments, if anybody does.
You do that, just,
Do they?
you get some sort of fill site.
Marquezan has the Arctic Air, and they service it themselves every year, is what they told me.
Wait, so that's a third? So now we have McQueen Breathing Air Systems and Arctic Air?
Well, Arctic Air is by McQueen. McQueen sells Arctic Air,
Oh, right,
Arctic
I see
Air
that.
generators.
Yeah.
Where are they on it?
They're, I'm out of Delafield.
Wisconsin.
And they're cheaper,
I don't know if you're able, you wanna say this because.
35 versus 52.
Well, 52 includes the fill station, so,
Well, we don't know what a fill station
Oh,
costs.
well, here, can I have that?
Are you happy with how they service?
So it's like 100,000 on the other page.
Isn't that part of, we're happy with their service?
For McQueen, you're talking? Yeah.
Hey, problem.
Well,
They also service our Hearst tools. So like when he came last Thursday, he serviced our compressor and our Hearst tools all at the same time.
Which is important.
So ultimately, it's important to make a decision tonight in that, so what you're saying is, you could, for one more month, go to a neighboring department, get them filled, but that's not ideal. And ultimately, it's broken, and so it would be nice to have a decision on,
I'm gonna push for a decision tonight because I don't want them to run out of oxygen if they have a structure fire.
Well, so you got
You know,
6
so
weeks
they're
before you
gonna
even
have to
get it.
go anyway.
6 weeks before delivery on it, the new one?
6 to 8, yeah.
Yeah.
And so as an interim measure, they will use those other options with departments.
Yeah, we can get them filled, you know, if we have structure fire, and we haven't lately, but if we do, yeah, we'll use them up.
So if we delay it, we're just delaying it even further.
Yeah.
And we could, if we, you know, when we do our mutual aid and we have other departments coming in, if they have a cascade system on their rig, we could fill our bottles off of theirs, so when they go back to their station, they'll just fill it out, you know, fill theirs back up. So we could get by for a little bit, but 6 to 8 weeks out before you're even gonna get anyone here.
Figured out yet, Heather?
As best as I can.
Thought maybe it's buried in there, didn't you?
Because there's, I mean, they have like a startup cost, and I'm sure that goes in with the fill station too, but I don't know how to break it down. I came up with, if we went with this breathing air systems, it would be approximately $37,631.79 just for the compressor, compared to the 35. 338.58.
And the McQueen's been servicing us for quite some time, or?
Well, yeah, since they took over from 5 Alarm. Well, 5 Alarm did all of it before that, so.
So they've been doing this the whole time?
Mhm.
Would you like to make a
I'll make
motion
a motion, we go with McQueen.
for $35,338.58?
And hopefully they throw a pill kit in it.
I guess I'm just curious before, I'm sorry, let's give me a second before
How about we
I'll
get a
change it if you're
second?
curious in it.
No, I'm just saying, like, they're not, yes, I'm trying to look it up online. as
How
we're
about we
talking
get a
here.
second before we discuss it anymore?
I'll,
Is there,
I'll second it.
thanks Doug. Go
I'll
ahead.
second the motion for McQueen for the compressor for $35,338.58.
Thank you. Now, John,
So McQueen is Arctic. Breathing Air Systems is Bauer. So the Arctic one has a filter system for 24,000 cubic foot. This one has a filter system for 67,000 cubic foot. So the air purification on this one, on the Bauer, is 3 times the Arctic. Do you know what's on, do you even have an air purifying system on your compressor?
So that's something we need.
I'm just saying, like, this is 3 times bigger, so, I mean,
probably for a bigger fire department.
they're both 6,000 PSI. And then the only other thing here is this one's saying that it hits NFPA 1989 for grade E for scuba gear. for air purification for grade E, which is like the moisture reduction. This one doesn't call out what grade it hits. So like on the fire.
And I believe we do have the moisture reduction
Yes,
up there.
we do.
Yeah, because, I think because of how far it's plumbed.
Well, then we've been filling our
Yeah.
our scuba tanks too, so.
No.
I just don't know, this one doesn't say
No,
what
take
it
them away,
is.
just fill 'em.
So I'm just saying, like, this one is grade E, which from what I'm seeing is like the most moisture reduction you can have. This one just doesn't say, like, it must be grade E. It's just not telling you.
So the cost difference, again, is 35,000 compared to, so it's.
37.
So it's so $2,631 more. I will say that, I mean, I think anyone that looks at these proposals, the breathing air system was definitely more comprehensive to my colleagues' points right now. And so now we're only talking a difference of 2,631 for a,
Bigger machine,
yeah,
right?
I mean,
Thing is, do you need a bigger machine?
That'd be something we have to call and ask tomorrow,
Yeah.
what the difference on that is.
Yeah.
it's,
Well, we do fill our cascade system now,
Right.
so,
But the one that's upstairs right now, is it compatible to what that one
I
there
don't
is
know
that
what
you're
we
talking
have.
about, or is it compatible to the?
Right now we have a Mako. I can tell you that, I can show you, because I got pictures.
it is nice as Board of Wisconsin company. I will also say that being that they're in multiple states, clearly they probably have to be aware of different codes.
What model was that Arctic Air?
Yeah, that's a really long, here,
Was it,
it's at the top, it's just a really long digit with a bunch of dashes.
Right, yeah, right now we just have a Mako Comp Air. I do have a model number, kinda.
I can see how also a company just wants it, like they're there to, service it and not ask questions, but is there any concern that clearly we had something that was not at code and our current servicing company, it sounds like, didn't bring that up as a concern?
Well, no, I mean, it's at code, we're being safe because we put them down in a thing. So as far as the NFPA code right now stands, we're fine. That code could change in a year because they're putting out a whole new NFPA code. So, right now, there's like if you went out onto Squad 18, we put the air packs in because when we got the machine, that they were saying we're going to that level.
Yep.
So right now, you put the air pack, you put the bottle in, you close it, it fills up, you open it back up. Right now, we have a table that you set the bottle down in, and then you fill it. So it's open on the top yet. So I mean, there's a hazard, but
Yeah, the
not,
potential of exploding
Right.
and taking your head off is huge.
it's huge, yes.
But you've got the same thing, get your tires changed. Used to be, you threw the tire on the floor, you pried the old one off, put the new one on, filled it up. Now, some places, they put cages, especially for
Yeah.
truck tires. But a lot of guys don't use them because it's a pain in the ass.
well, which one were we saying that maybe didn't have the moisture reduction thing?
I mean, they'll
The-
probably have it, just, I think it's the same, actually, I'm on their website.
I'm
There's
looking
some
here
things
too,
about
and it says that they have, I think all the stuff, on either one of their two compressors, they have all this stuff, like,
You might
they have
not
a
just list it.
purification, filtration system, grade E breathing air, dryer beds remove water in excess of dew point, activated charcoal and carbon monoxide. I think they're probably both about the same. They offer both of that.
Yeah, I see, it just wasn't spelled out.
It's not spelled out on that, but if you look at their website,
Yeah.
they have two compressors, the only difference is size.
Yeah,
I don't think we need the bigger size.
It's not like we're doing 20 fires a day with air packs.
Right.
And the other thing is, they've gotta meet the safety standards when we get done with this. I mean, you can't, they gotta make sure there's no oil in that air and there's no, only a certain amount of moisture. Otherwise, everybody's gonna be sick in no time and they wouldn't be selling them. I mean, and I'm sure they probably check that stuff when they come in to service it, make sure it's not.
Okay,
We have a motion on the table to purchase the McQueen compressor for $35,338.58. And I think probably we'll take a roll call vote. Vanderbrink? You want me to come back?
Yeah.
Page?
Yes.
Schatzinger? You can stare at Barry all you want, he's not gonna give anything away. You want me to
Yes.
come back to you?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Helen? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Schatzinger?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, and then under future agenda items, I will put down the firehouse grant permission. Okey-dokey, and we'll figure out where it's coming from later.
Next week, next time.
That's what I was gonna ask, should I bring that back to my board, that there may be an assessment?
Maybe, yeah, just mention it.
And it would be, what would the amount be approximately?
Don't know. Don't know, have to figure that out.
Okay.
Breen isn't gonna be able to
No,
calculate
but
that.
it's whatever you're paying now is 7 point
Yeah,
whatever.
okay.
So it'd be 7,
35.
that's a percentage of that
35,000.
35,000. The way
So
it
7%
stands
of
now.
35,000, right? Isn't that what you're saying?
I have to check and make sure that's the percentage they're paying. I don't know if they're paying that much.
But to your point, you
Well,
can figure it out.
whatever you're.
Whatever your percentage is, it'd be
So it would
of
be
that
about Ripon.
35,000.
18.
18% of 5,000. Right, yeah.
I guess just a question, I know I voted yes, I really don't have a problem, but before you actually put it in, can Cooper just check like the cubic feet on the one you currently
We
have?
can, yes.
Just like raise a red flag, I mean, if all of a sudden you find it, it's
He
like,
probably
ah,
even knows off
Where-
the top of his head.
Where would I find that?
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, it's probably on the unit.
Probably on the
Hang
unit.
on.
Serial thing or something.
It's gotta be on it.
I told you,
Yeah,
I got
It has to
pictures.
have a tag.
Yeah.
Cooper told me, is it CFM?
Or if you have a serial number.
Yeah.
I have the serial number.
You can type it in, yeah.
Hang on, I gotta get it bigger.
Not serial number.
Hang on.
I mean, it's 30 years
Five-
old, so.
5406. Looks like an,
EH 710.
is it an EH?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna go with that, cause it looked like an L to me.
I don't even have my glasses on, I think it
Looks like an L to me.
does, yep.
Kinda does,
Show it
yeah.
again.
There it is.
So,
Conaware?
it's a Mako.
It's Mako.
Yeah,
Compare.
Malcolm makes it.
Compare, yep, Mako Compare.
Florida, Osceola.
Ocala.
Oh, yeah, that place too.
Well, okay, I guess, let's say you find out that it's, doesn't meet what it needs.
Yeah, just,
Do you need to make a second motion to say that you're authorized to then spend this amount to go with this other quote if,
It says CFM is
Does
14.
that help you?
I don't know what that means.
see if I was 14.
Yeah,
Does that help you at all? It's the cartridge.
maximum pressure 6,000. Model BAM 06H3.
Can you guys text Cooper?
I can call him if you want me
call
to.
him, I mean, why don't we write that down?
He's at work, but he said you can try and call me,
Well, if you said that, then,
so.
I don't know.
We're looking for the
CFM.
CFM.
Yeah, go look.
Hi, we're trying to find out what the CFM or the cubic something or
Cubic feet for
other.
the purifier.
The
Cubic
purifier.
feet for the purifier.
Cubic feet of the purifier. The one that's upstairs. It's 14. So, okay, that's all I need, I think, right now.
Does he have a recommendation? Can you
okay.
make a recommendation? Can,
The board would like to know if you have a recommendation between the McQueen or the breathing air system one. Mm-hmm.
And they service Arctic Air, which runners, or Marquezine, yes.
Mhm.
So if I work with Marquezine, I can go over there and learn how to service those air compressors, and that'll save us service spending on that if we wanted to do that.
Okay,
That's good news.
so did you guys hear what he said? Okay, I'll reiterate for you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, bye. What he's, no, don't call him. What he said was, because we have a contract with McQueen already, and they have Arctic Air, and that's what Reynolds has. Reynolds services their own, that if we wanted to, he would go over to Reynolds, see what they do to service theirs every year, so that he could service it and save us the money every year to do that.
Right.
So,
And that's the system we just voted on.
yes.
Right,
Okay.
Is that gonna void any warranty?
I don't think so.
We'll have to check.
I think as long as you keep a log, and I can ask Joel, but but I think as long as you keep a log saying this is when how you did everything.
That would be my concern. If-
Right.
if
Yeah,
we're-
voiding
So,
the warranty.
and so, I mean, I can,
Renner may just have a contract with them to do that.
right, too. So, I mean, I'd have to ask
Do
Joel.
they pull an air sample out of our tanks, have it tested or not?
I've never seen him leave with an air, but he didn't this last time. So, but he went to fill it up and it wouldn't take air, so that might be why he didn't take an air
There's
sample.
nothing-
I know that he changed the filter in it because he left the box upstairs. So,
Well, we can move on.
You want me to go grab those guys?
Yeah.
They went upstairs, I'm assuming?
yeah, I can call,
think they know they're gonna come back.
I can call
just,
Cooper.
just wait.
They could just be
I'll
looking
text,
for.
I said I'll text Boris,
Could be
sorry,
trying to
sorry, I meant
find-
Cody.
Yeah, Cooper.
Yeah.
I meant Cody and,
I wanna see what you're saying.
Yeah.
She's gonna text.
Oh.
Well, let's just move on.
Do you wanna start explaining the SUV? We can catch Jonathan up when he gets back.
Yeah, the SUV is, we were approached by Adam Sontag. The old Med 10 used to be the SUV that the ambulance used to go out with, like the rapid response vehicle. They no longer have that one. They got a pickup truck now. But when they got the new pickup truck, they kept the old one and they gave that to the Parks and Rec director. She no longer uses it because I think she got a pickup truck now, which works better for her, for moving stuff around to the parks and doing things. So we were asked if maybe we would be interested in it to replace one of our two buggies we have out there. We have the red one and we have the white one. The red,
The battalion chiefs?
Italian Chiefs buggies, yeah. The red one is a 2002.
SUV. Who knew what it was?
It was 14. See if I'm at 14.
Yeah, I think.
So the red buggy is a 2002. 02, it's an 02. We would look at replacing the red one. That one's been starting to nickel and dime us to death. We've been sticking money into it all the time. The Ford Explorer, the 2017 Ford Explorer, Adam would like to get $15,000 for it.
Oh, the one he wants to sell us.
Yes, the old ambulance Med 10 Explorer, or the rapid response vehicle. It was retrofitted with the lights already when the ambulance had it, so we wouldn't have that expense. And he has all the lighting to go right back on it. It might cost us something to reinstall the lighting, unless Cooper and I can put it back on. But he was throwing it out there to see if we were interested in it.
Did we do a Kelly Blue Book on it?
Yeah, what was it?
he sent it,
You were gonna print it out for me, but we didn't.
no, well, he sent me like other auction ones that he found on an auction site for the 2017 with about the same amount of mileage. And he said that they were asking 14.2 for those. But he felt that the one that he was trying to sell us would be worth 15.
And would we sell the vehicle that we would be replacing, and what do you think we would get for that on buy and sell? So
Yeah,
what
the
would
red-
the net cost?
Yeah, the red one, you know, the red buggy out there, we'd put that on Wisconsin surplus again. We'd just probably pull our radio out of it and leave all the lighting go with it, and our emblem off the side. I would guess, you know, we did real well on that ambulance, which I thought we were gonna get 1,500. So I would say between 5,000 to 7,000 we probably get for that red one.
What miles are on that?
170, I think.
175, I think you said when you came in the other day.
Yeah, 175,000. It's got new tires on it, so that's a plus. Starting to rust out too, there's, you know, we've had to rust fix numerous times. Just put Band-Aids over them. So if you're gonna get, let's say 7,000, you know, 15,000 for the other one. I did hear that they were gonna put new brakes in it for us all the way around, brakes and rotors if it needed it. Brakes for sure, I don't know about the rotors, but the city was gonna put new brakes in it for us at no charge. So we won't have that cost coming up either on that.
What's your recommendation?
I would probably get rid of the red one. It's been pretty old. So that's my recommendation, I would get rid of that one. It only gets used once a week and every other weekend, basically. 'Cause we use the white one and stuff.
So the net expenditure would be between 8,000 and 7,000 after you did the buy and sell?
Right.
Yeah.
And the next, the white buggy is a 2012. So, you know, that one's quite a bit newer than 2002.
Yeah, but it's still getting old. It's 10, 12 years old.
Do we need to? I mean, we sell both of them and get this one. I mean,
Good
just
question.
throwing it out there, I mean, you know, sometimes you get more stuff than it's nice to have, but, you know, you can,
Yeah, 2 is nice because sometimes, you know, if I have it and I take it home and he's on the next morning, he comes down and gets the red one and he takes that. So there's no like layover or whatever
Yeah,
in
'cause he's
between
not
there.
coming
Then they're
at
trying to
5:30.
meet up to swap out and,
Yeah, 5:30 I don't want to get out of bed to bring it down either, but it's been working good, we've been swapping it out that way.
I
And
pick it up the night before, so either one I can take, either one.
yeah, it's an option, I guess, but it's been working pretty nice the way it's set up now.
you know, I was just curious, like, you know, I don't know how often, you know, like when we went up, we took them, we went up to Pierce and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I just was curious, that, you know, if do we need it or don't?
Is there a time limit on letting the city know?
I think they wanted to know sooner than later.
sooner than later, because
Because-
they wanted, we thought we were gonna put it on the agenda last month, and they've been waiting a month for us to.
We took it off the agenda last
Oh,
month
yeah, we
because of that.
stripped that
Yeah.
agenda.
They have it sitting down here, I think, at the Public Works right now, and, you know, they'd like to see it gone sooner than
Yeah.
later too.
Have you thought about what budget line you can pour it out of?
Gary knows the budget lines better than I do. Which one are we gonna pull it out of, Gary?
Salaries.
That
Then we'll
one
see
we
how
could-
much they want.
That one we can pull out of the 32,000. Because
Good.
that would be 8 to 7.
Good.
So ultimately, there's a question of, could you buy a vehicle from the buy and sell website cheaper, that is, you know, same quality than 15,000? But we know how this, you know, that this one's working fine and.
We know the
did extra
background of
line.
it.
What'd you think?
We know the background of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And it's got light package.
Yeah, where if we buy one off of a buy-sell trader, off of the auction thing or whatever, most of them don't have the light package with it.
Sometimes they're on there for a reason, sometimes.
Yeah.
How many miles are on that? I don't know.
17,000, didn't I tell you?
Yeah, I think 17,000.
Hang on, I'm getting to Adam's emails.
You know, 20-year-old, I don't really have a problem with a 20 or 30-year-old fire truck. 20 or 30-year-old van like
SUV.
that, but, you know, that's, I mean, I drive something that's older than that, but, you know, it's coming apart. So, I don't know, I'm not gonna make another motion to spend a whole bunch of money, but I might second one.
So the one you're, the city one is 17,000.
15.
15,000.
And it's currently white in color, so it'll match the other one out here. We'll, you know, we'd have some decals on it to match the other one out here.
And then they assume we can get 7,000 to 8,000 for the red one on buy and sell
I'd say 5 to
auction
7.
or whatever.
5 to 7. probably.
5 to 7, excuse me.
It seems a lot. 22-year-old.
Do we need to know where it's coming out of the budget for the motion?
It could come out of the 32,000 that's set aside for capital equipment.
That's what that was for. I think that's what paid for the last one.
And that's, again, that's part of, that money is sitting in the money market right now, earning interest.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Jonathan, thank you.
Buy it?
I'll make a motion to buy the city SUV for 15,000.
15,000.
Okay,
2017 Ford Explorer.
is there a second?
Yeah, sell the other one.
Oh, yeah, do you
Yeah,
want
do you
to
want
put
that all in
in
the same
there?
motion?
Ellen, did you hear that?
I'll do it as a second motion.
Well, I'm not writing the motion, he's writing the motion.
I'll do it as a second.
Oh,
Thought it was gonna come on this. I was like, oh my God, I can't turn it off.
Are we just doing the one motion to purchase?
That's what he just
I'll do,
said.
I'll do the second one now.
Okay.
Sorry, that's mine now, because I'm on
Is that for you?
call. No. But now they got one turned on in there too.
So can you read the motion back to us, please?
Motion to approve the purchase of the SUV Ford Explorer 2017 Ford Explorer for $15,000 from the city of Ripon.
Beautiful. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Jonathan, did you want to make
Yeah,
another?
I'll make a,
Oh, wait, back up here. Who seconded that motion?
Barry,
Barry. Okay. Okay, second motion.
I'll make a motion to sell the current red SUV,
Chevy Tahoe.
Chevy Tahoe, for, do we need a not less than, or just sell on?
you want to put it on the auction site? Yeah,
Yeah.
sell it.
We also have some pagers and some other things we want to put on that, Wisconsin surplus too, anyway, with that
Sure.
SUV.
So, sell on the surplus auction site.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Barry. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you all. New hires, possible new hires.
We did do some interviews. Ellen sat in on the interviews. As of right now, one, we have his,
We're good.
oh, two, okay. So we have two now that we actually want to put on. Their references came back, their background checks came back. So one would be a paid on call. His father's currently on the department for 30-some years, I think, already. So he wants to get into it now as well, and there would be a daytime guy as well, a day shift guy.
Yep.
And he is currently in the fire service with a list of certifications.
Yes.
So,
Like all of us.
yeah, so they're both, I would say a definite hire.
Mhm. Is there a motion to,
Do you want the names?
do you want the names, folks?
I think we typically have.
Okay, give them
Okay.
the names.
The paid on call would be, Tori Stibb. And the, date shift person is Brandon Grundy.
Need a motion then to stop that was hired?
So, who would like to make a motion to have them go ahead and hire these two folks?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Jonathan. Is there a second? Thank you. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so then our old business is going back to our strategic plan and talking about short-term goal one, which is how we want to staff right now. And I think I want to limit discussion on this for 15, 20 minutes till 8:30, because we have other things on the agenda too, and if we don't make a decision, we'll just bring it back in May.
Tell me what page you're on.
It's on page 13.
Thank you.
It looks like this one.
They're all one time.
Yeah. This one's the biggest one. So I think you might have to remind me, we were discussing this and there were 3 recommendations from McMahon and Associates. Should we choose to continue with them as a consultant would be Kevin Clone. And or if we want to go out to market, or if we want to hire a full-time chief or a part-time chief, and the duties, because they're recommending more of an administrative chief, which would take some of the burden off of Heather. So anybody have any thoughts?
Okay, so this has been we know that this is coming, clearly, for months. For me, I would like a sort of a thought process from the current, clearly, haven't we gotten feedback from the department on this as to what they
This
would
is all
exactly
feedback from the department in the strategic plan,
But no, this is a recommendation from the company that we hired.
based on their interviews.
So okay, so does the representation then here feel like this represents your opinions? Is that what you're saying?
I sat on the committee, you sat on the committee. You sat on the committee.
I
You
tried.
could make it, yeah. We didn't send you out for fire calls. I think that was a consensus of pretty much the committee is what they found, is what their findings came up with. Just from the meetings we were in.
I did miss a couple, because I began to
Yeah.
hit on for calls.
Mhm.
So so there's a consensus here that McMahon and Associates got it right. So the question becomes, and that's for a part-time, 20 to 30 hour administrative chief. So their options were, and we'd have to agree on if that suits us. You can go out to market for that. They're not recommending that because we're still in disarray. We're still finding things that weren't done correctly. A lot of accounting errors. So one of the options is if we hire McMahon and Associates for a year, then we reassess and we go out to market. to give us another year to try to get things cleaned up. The auditing process, Heather's done a good job with. I think we're gonna have our audit much earlier
Yeah, I gotta answer a couple more
this year.
questions.
Yeah, and I've sent them materials too, and so, I mean, those are the questions. So staff is telling us that they're in agreement with that, but we need to know what you all think. You've all been here longer than I have. So we need to discuss opinions, and the reason I wanna limit the amount of time that we discuss this is, I don't know if we'll come to a decision tonight, but we need to have everyone share their thoughts.
Just a question, what we voted for you, like, last month, 2
Mhm.
months ago, is row 2 on this, right? Full-time assistant chief administration?
No. No. She's a full-time assistant chief.
This is actually talking about the fire chief / administrator.
Yeah,
They're like, the chief is considered also the administrator.
yeah. Because their recommendation is to hire an administrative chief, because right now she does all the book work, she does all the scheduling, she does all the ESO, she actually does pretty much everything.
Oh, I see, here,
Yeah.
assistant chief. Yeah,
Assistant chief of administration, full-time. So we're saying,
Where is that?
bullet point.
Oh, a bullet point, yeah, yeah, you're
circle
right.
number 2
Okay.
under
You did do
square
that.
number
Yeah.
2.
You did do that,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So you do have an assistant chief of administration, and she is full-time.
Okay. Whether or not it's Heather or we replace, somebody else in
Right,
the future,
it's-
but that's
that's the
the
position.
position.
Yep.
But that's not an intern position anymore.
No, I get,
Yeah.
nope, I get it.
Yeah. So,
Oh, well, okay, so I have a follow-up on my colleague, that was a good question now. So I guess we could go down these bullet points to see, have we met these? Like outside of the fire chief, are all of these now,
no, we
right?
don't have any of those.
Well, we have the second one, we have the assistant chief.
Right,
of
but we don't
administration.
have
Right.
battalion chiefs, and we don't have 3 captains,
3 lieutenants, 3 engineers.
and we don't have 3 lieutenants.
No,
We got a bunch of engineers.
we have 4 engineers.
Yeah.
That one we do have.
But I think what we need to do is take a 40,000 look before, I think we need to decide what we want as a chief before we start looking at any of this other stuff. Heather is running the department right now. She's been putting in tons of overtime, which we don't typically pay, but by law, you have to pay the overtime. So now she's salaried and she can flex her hours. Barry, do you have any thoughts? That you can say out loud,
I think I would like to see McMahon come in for another year.
Because we have the money for that.
At least help us get a little farther along in this.
I agree with you because this, I know it's bad. Because it's still, and you know this too, we still find things. And stuff hasn't been paid. We've overpaid some things. We get money, we get a check in the mail from things being overpaid. And then we find out, we haven't paid the federal government for stuff. So we still have some cleaning up to do. So, and Kevin Clone would be the guy. He's been coming in on his own time to do training with them.
You told me that for sure, that he would be.
Oh, yeah, it was in the
Yes.
email I sent.
Yes.
But if we were to go forward with this.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be
Yes.
$130 an hour, but we would be able to keep him at whatever hours we want per week. And I'm sure now that he's retired, he might want time off to go
No.
on vacation, but we're not paying Social Security, we're not paying Wisconsin retirement, we're not paying benefits because we're paying McMahon, and they'll take care of all of that stuff.
Well, in a sense, we're still paying.
Well, we
Well,
are,
yeah.
but we don't have to run it all,
We don't have to run it through our system.
yeah. Cause it's like a 1099 thing, or
Probably be bucks an hour.
probably, if that much, yeah. Does anybody else have any thoughts?
No, I think it makes sense to hire Kevin for a year. I guess my only caveat is I think it makes sense to hire him for a year as long as we work with him and start the process of hiring or looking for a candidate, you know, at the 8-month mark. So we're not hitting a year and then starting a 6-month process.
Right,
Yeah.
right, you're
So-
right. The other thing is, if we hire him, he would be able to help us with, I'm not sure we need a I'm not sure we need battalion chiefs, I don't know, but he would be able to
Yeah.
work with the 3 chiefs to figure out if that's really, I mean, what we want. I know you want more captains, and I know
Well, I think the
you want.
battalion chiefs are more, full-time department structure.
Right, but
Yeah.
we would call them battalion captains
Captains,
instead.
yeah.
Okay.
It's just their terminology
It's
versus our
wording.
terminology.
Oh, okay, cause you guys, you were a battalion captain, and so were you,
Yeah.
and,
All three of us.
all three, oh, you were too,
Well, I was the
okay.
safety captain
Yeah,
until I got promoted.
we're voted in.
Okay,
Yeah, or that.
all right, so what I'm hearing is we're coming to consensus on hiring McMahon and Associates till the end of the year, which would be nine months. So we have the money in the budget for that. We'll have to just make sure we're not going over budget. I guess maybe let's do a motion on that. Is there a motion to hire McMahon and Associates to have Kevin Clone part-time till December 31st, 2024?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Larry.
And can you put in the motion, I mean, he's the fire chief, right? Is that what we're saying, like, with the title?
Yeah,
Fire chief.
Fire chief slash administrator.
Yeah.
But this keeps, it keeps them also, it has to assist.
Yeah.
And then, but Heather is also the full, she's not interim anymore.
So do you understand your role under this new?
Oh, I do, yep.
Okay,
You'll have to work with Kevin,
Yeah,
Right.
Yep.
because he's still, they're recommending that they remain.
but your title would be,
Same.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
But
He'd be like interim chief instead of chief.
He'd be running the things when the other
He-
chief's not there.
He'd be running, he's like
Yeah.
running the
Nighttime.
Yeah,
the
you'll be
nighttime
running,
shifts and stuff like that, where Kevin will be coming in and doing administrative office stuff.
Cause,
And
you know,
some training, I suppose.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, training as well.
yeah, Kevin's already doing that, working on training.
Deputy chief. That's this position I took.
Okay, so I have, Barry made a motion, did somebody second it?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor, please, yes, or
Discussion.
discussion?
I'm wondering if we should do it through January. You'll have a whole year in. January, you can come back
Means through
Tell us.
January
and
31st?
tell us what he thinks. You know,
Well, we're still gonna have to go out, we'll have to continue to discuss this with him at the meeting to see if,
because, you know,
when we
could
need
always
to
hire
go
him
out.
for another month or two
Okay.
afterwards, maybe.
Okay,
Okay, I'll just let it go.
well, let's bring that back.
We'll bring that back. if
Let's
we
bring
want
it
to
back.
extend it.
Okay, is there any other discussion?
Do we need to cap the amount of hours in the motion? Just,
I think not to exceed the dollar amount for that. We can figure out what that is.
And you had that in an email.
Guys all had it in an email.
You know how many emails I get a day?
Email it.
You don't
I
have
definitely read all of them.
them. Yeah. I read it, it's just from memory.
Okay, I found it.
Oh, she's quick. Yeah.
Consider an hourly agreement, 8 to 16 hours a week would be sufficient. The hourly rate would continue at $130 per hour. It, he said it, but it actually identifies McMahon as interim fire administrator, but we could say interim fire chief / administrator. So it's 8 to 16 hours a week. That was the last option.
Should just say not to exceed 20 hours a week.
Maybe 18 hours a week, not to exceed 18 hours a week. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. Not to and you're okay with it as a second?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the amendment. Not to exceed 18 hours.
Well, and if there's an emergency, that's different, correct?
We can balance it out the next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, we can always balance it.
So if it goes over 1 week, we can cut
We
back
can
a
always
second.
cut back the second week.
Cool. Any other questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. I'll contact McMahon and Associates and get the paperwork started. Is that okay, Heather?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, then we had, under new business, short-term goal 3, create a recruitment and retention committee consisting of department members to provide input and assist the fire chief with recruitment and retention efforts. You already have something like that, don't you, where you all huddle up and decide where you're gonna go to look for future firefighters? Isn't there like,
We go to the tech,
yeah, the tech.
Yeah, we go to the tech, we're going to the,
or the high school.
we're going to the high school career fair in April, we'll be going to the tech in May. Word of mouth, I mean, that, I have to say that most of the applicants we got lately have been word of mouth from guys that have been working on like the day shift or, so.
So, should we sort of formalize it with the chiefs being the committee that's part of your job description, is to either have the day shift people go out and find it, but you've already been doing this. I think this is just formalizing it.
We're always trying to recruit.
Yeah. So, I think we already have a recruitment retention committee of the chiefs. So, we're already doing that. And then the short-term goal, implement use of ESO records management system for incident reporting, inspections, and personnel.
Wait, so you're going to the next one?
Yeah,
So we're not taking any action?
we're already doing it.
I think we just need to put it into like an SOP form.
Okay,
I mean, if that's,
I would argue if the recommendation is to a committee that sets goals and you're seeking volunteers for that committee, to say they're already doing it, clearly, my impression is it wouldn't be listed here as a goal if you were already doing it. And that would be us not really taking this seriously, if that's that is my impression.
Doug?
Could we then maybe, could you like keep track of all the recruitment and retention things that you've done over every month and?
Well, what we
Just
could
kind
do
of-
with Jolene's suggestion is to formalize what you're doing by a motion to, we can formalize it by indicating that we create a recruitment and retention committee, which consists of what you've been doing right now, and then write an SOP on it so that it's included in policies and procedures. And then you're right, we do need to keep track of numbers and things of that nature.
Right, Jolene is right. If it's in there, it's something that they felt we weren't doing,
Okay.
or like not doing it adequately enough,
that
or
we were
not,
keeping track of it.
not keeping track of, like,
Right.
all the other stuff we didn't keep track of before, that
Yep.
now we're
Okay.
keeping track of.
Jolene, would you like to make a motion?
I would, I'm interested in that, but I'm not sure how to word it yet. So I guess I move to, what it says here.
Do you want to formalize a recruitment retention
Yeah.
committee?
To formalize a recruitment slash retention committee consisting of department members to provide input and assist the fire chief with recruitment and retention efforts.
Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
I guess, just in the future, I guess I could see it, to Jillian's point, that, you know, it could be an item, maybe not in the chief's report, but like an actual, like, recruitment line item. If it's a goal here, and we're supposed to actually have a committee, you know, just a bi-monthly report out, right?
Yeah,
It's probably not something to report out every month, but.
we can, well,
Order
we,
or something.
yeah. Yeah, we can do it under the chief's report.
I think that would be perfect. We
Okay.
do like the number of calls we have every month. This is where we went to recruit.
Thanks, Doug.
We went to the tech college and we went to the high school, we gave 3 presentations and, you know.
I think you should be on that committee too.
I could, we'll start
I
out.
was just joking.
You would have so many people, Carol.
Is there any other discussion?
You said I could dumping. Yeah, I did, sorry,
All
John.
those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Now, the next item is the ESO records management system. And this one, I think we need to talk to Heather about because she does it all right now. And get your thoughts on how, yeah. I personally would like to see that you have backup. I think that Tyler is smart enough to, and he's young, and they know computers, to actually help. Or will the new administrative chief be able to help with ESO stuff? But I don't think so, because he was like a chief.
If I ask Kevin a question about ESO, he hands me
Book.
one of the guy's numbers from Old Nina Monash, and then I call him and he sends me to a guy in Watertown.
Okay.
The guy in Watertown is really, really nice. I'm just saying, because
Well, we
he's gonna
don't want the
help me a
guy
lot.
in Watertown on this committee.
Yeah.
So, because the guy in Watertown is like the Wisconsin guru for ESO. Tyler would be a good backup, but with him doing
Fire inspection.
fire inspections, the hours that I can give him are stuck doing fire inspections.
Yeah, I think on the next agenda, we'll have to talk about fire inspections and sort of having that be more robust.
Mhm.
And then maybe that's, yes, sir?
How many people do we have now doing the fire inspections?
We have 2.
2, so we're talking about maybe adding
We have
somebody.
Granados
Well-
and Suki.
If you go back to one, I just wanted to take care of the chief on one.
Right,
On the bottom of that, it talks about how to schedule, and we might wanna wait until we get Kevin Clone in here to go back and discuss this. Schedule 2 part-time paid on-premise firefighters on weekdays from 7 to 5. The part-time paid on-premise members should be supervised by the assistant chief, which you're doing already. And then it said, over the course of the next year, the fire chief / administrator should evaluate the need for a full-time firefighter, fire inspector, so that we can get them all done. But that would mean creating a full-time position, which we have to talk to Von Briesen about, because right now, they've only recommended 1 full-time position. Because that ends up being Wisconsin retirement and other things. So Tyler's certainly capable, but his hours have been reduced because he has another, or you're gonna up
No,
his hours
he-
next.
Next month, but I can only give him so many hours because of the hours he worked last year trying to get inspections done. So like, and I'm just gonna throw numbers out here because I don't have the exact numbers. But, so like say last year in April, he put in, we're gonna say 130 hours for the month. So this, like right now, I'm like really controlling his hours because I only have 130 hours to play with
Mm-hmm.
because I got 130 coming off. But if I put 140 on, then I'm
So it's not
shrinking my.
100 and, it's not 1,200 hours per year. It's rolling.
It's a rolling calendar.
It rolls. So it's month by month.
So, yeah, so like this month, because he was still in school last year, in this month, he only put in 39 hours in. So like I only have off of his base hours, like right now he's around 1,000 hours, so I only have 39 hours I can take away from him. So this month he's really light on hours because I like to have a little bit of hours to play with in case he goes over. And, you know, the other day he came for the fire call. He was on EMS and they let him go so he could come to the fire, so he got 2 or 3 hours there. So I'm like, I'm trying to have a buffer.
So are we discussing this here because he was being considered for an assistant chief of administration? And
No.
you're saying that, or
No.
or
She's
why?
the assistant chief of administration.
We're talking about, because his fire inspections.
I understand, but so
I
right
said
now.
Tyler would be capable of backing up the ESO system. She has no backup on the ESO system right now, right?
Correct.
This is what we're talking
Did you say
about.
one of the new hires is fully certified and everything? Is
Well,
it
he's certified in
Firefighter.
firefighter 1, firefighter 2, driver op, and hazmat.
Not fire inspections?
No.
Not the ESO record management system.
So that I'm saying we're gonna go back, we're gonna have to go back. I'm saying Tyler is capable of it, I don't know if anybody else is. You know of anybody else who is?
I'm not.
YouTube videos.
So what we can do is we can formalize an ESO records management system, or we could put it in next week, because we already have appointed an assistant chief of administration as the RMS manager for the, well, we should appoint her, she's been doing it. And then that person creates and maintains a personnel file for each member of the department. Well, we've done
I've
that.
already done that.
We now have, you know, we struggled with that. But all the files are up to date, everybody has a file and all of their information is in. Then the chief officers develop a procedure process to ensure National Fire Incident Reporting System record is filed in the RMS for all incident responses. And this is really an important system because it helps to set insurance costs nationwide. And it helps the state determine a lot of, does it help the state also determine our 2% fire dues
Well,
too?
that's what he comes in and he looked at, he looked
Okay.
at most of the stuff I put into ESO, along with other stuff. It wasn't just that, but it encompassed a lot of stuff. And, but most of it, it's our 2% dues audit is kind of what we always called it. So, so yeah, it kind of affects our 2% dues, because if we don't do it, we could lose our 2% dues. So
Yeah, and we don't wanna do that.
we don't want to do that.
No, that's bad.
That's very bad. So going back to Jolene's recommendation for short-term goal 3, for short-term goal 4, we could do a motion to formalize the ESO records management system for incident reporting, inspections, and personnel training records management, and then build that, once we get Kevin Clone in, work on building that. Does that make sense? Okay. Is there a motion to formalize an ESO records management system?
I think you just made it.
I can't make a motion,
You want to repeat that, Ray?
Why can't you?
because I'm chairing the meeting. That's not typical.
I'll move to
Thank you, Jolene.
formalize the use of ESO records management system, RMS, for incident reporting, inspections, and personnel/training records management.
Cool. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion passes unanimously.
I have a question, do we also have to move to, have the assistant chief of administration be the RMS manager?
No, I think that's covered in the motion you made.
Well, that was to
Well, if you
formalize
wanna
the
go-
records, okay.
Go ahead.
So I move to, appoint the assistant chief of administration as RMS manager for the department.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none,
Yeah. Do you accept it if it happens?
No.
She's already doing
it,
all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Jolene. Okay, the amendment for this meeting was the CLA contract. And I have it here. And the financial statement audit is, they're recommending $6,450, and what we had budgeted, and we'd budgeted more last year, like $9,000, because they did an in-depth thing. So this is really an increase of about, I think, $150 from the year before.
How much was the total again?
$6,450.
2 years ago.
Yes, yeah.
It was last year. We didn't take it.
That was that was like $9,000 for that. Then they're also offering a service for $750 to provide the conversion of our capital assets. This is a one-time charge. They have software. We have a current inventory, correct? Current inventory, and they'll take that inventory and they will put it into their software so that they can do the depreciation every year. But then we have a place to go to get our inventory too. And we'll figure out if they do the updates, or if Heather just feeds them the information, or if she can do it. The last thing they're saying is assistance in implementing GASB number 96, which is a one-time charge if applicable for $250. I'm not sure it's applicable.
What is it?
GASB is government accounting standards. And you've been taking those classes?
No,
or-
I'm still looking for some, so.
Okay. All right, so if we had to do all three, it would be $9,700.
And we don't have to do the second one next year because they'll already have that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I vote we just take him as the auditor as we've had in previous years, and that's $64.50. I also think we should do the $700 charge to put everything into their database to depreciate things. I think that would be very helpful for us.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I think it's just gonna be a pain in the neck,
yeah,
try to keep track of. That will cost us more than $700.
okay.
So I would definitely think we should do the first two, and I don't know if we need the last one or not.
Okay.
But we can include it into the motion. If we don't need it, then we'll just pull this up. 'cause
Yeah,
that's
we
back.
won't pay for it if we don't need it.
Right.
So that's a total of 9,700, up to 9,700. Is there a second?
I'll second
Thanks, Gary. Is there any discussion?
We should have them explain to us the GASB 96 thing, you know?
Yeah,
If they
I'll
could-
ask tomorrow.
Because we have some of the software on here that's, if you look at the GASB 96 of what's all included that needs to be qualified under it,
Uh-huh,
is all QuickBooks, cloud-based stuff, anything Microsoft or G Suite.
oh, we have all that.
So all of that is covered under the GASB 96. It says it needs to be brought up to GASB 96 standard.
Well, I would think that that would be an update from QuickBooks.
Yeah, I don't know, that's what I'm saying. It's just saying, like, if you have any of these things, you need to make sure that it's all in GASB 96.
Okay. All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you. Now, for future agenda items, I have short-term goal 5, so bring your books next time, and short-term goal 6. And then I think we have to elect board members in May, right?
Yeah.
Because we had an election. Okay. And I'll see if I can get the bylaws and the policies and procedures from Jim Macy. And then the firehouse grant. Is there anything else that we need to discuss that anybody can think of? You got anything?
For future?
Yeah.
I do, actually.
What?
Actually, it's in here, I think, under new business, but I don't think you have it on your thing here, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Oh, vehicle future replacement information, I think I wrote over it, go ahead.
You must have.
I must have written, because I've been writing.
And we don't have to go over this tonight, I can give you guys this packet. Cooper, once again, has been working all the time down here. He just must not have anything else to do at home. He's got some stuff here on apparatus out in the bay there of what we own, and the year it is and how old it is. So, you know, it's got everything listed here. He's got some stuff here about the 5-year strategic plan and adopting and replacing fire apparatus. And maybe we can, when we're looking at time to replace some of these, maybe we can replace or consolidate 2 vehicles into one. So we're not having all that extra equipment sitting out there.
Yeah, does that look at like using the concept of Mavis to work with neighboring fire departments so that we're not all buying the same
Right,
equipment?
we kind of, Cooper and I kind of talked about that this morning on his drive home from
The fire?
from his work.
Oh.
So he usually calls in and says, anything broke, do I need to come fix anything?
Oh.
And then we talk, and we kind of said that, you know, when we consolidate or when we start thinking about, like, we're replacing engine 11 and stuff like that, and you know, his kind of comment was, do we need 3 engines, because we do have Mavis, we do have,
Yeah.
you know, so that's kind of throws that in there too, as kind of something to think about for the future when we go
The
forward.
concept of Mavis, as I understand it from the Fond du Lac Fire Department, when I worked with them, is that this would help with manpower as well as equipment.
Mhm.
So, of course, I still think we need to get a copy of the Mavis. We don't have a copy of the Mavis agreement, so we need to maybe check with Fond du Lac County. The dispatch center has moved over to the sheriff's department again, so I think maybe Eric Hallbach could find that for us.
Yeah, it just happened, didn't it?
Yeah, just,
Yeah, like
yeah.
last week.
last week, I think, because Bill Wallner said it was a done deal now.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
I'm told that.
they voted on it last Wednesday, I want to say.
I can give everybody, you know, board member this packet from Cooper,
That'd be
and you guys
great.
can take it home and read it.
And then we'll put it on the agenda for next month to discuss.
You know, engine 11 is 33 years old. You know, we all know that, because that's why we're getting a new one. Engine 14, which is a 1994 model, it's 30 years old today. You know, so it's 6 years or 5 years out to get a new one. So,
It's increasing.
yeah, he's got this laid out pretty nice. He's got our last year call volume. He got this all on here too, so you
Yep,
can see what we need and what we
we
don't need.
worked on it.
Cooper knows lots of stuff.
Okay, so, what,
You had your hand up. So-
oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was only just thinking, if only there was an ad hoc committee of the surrounding departments that we could actually implement this Mavis thing with the equipment. If only that could be done. If only we could sit down with Green Lake and Berlin and Markesan and Fond du Lac and Utica and
Well, yeah,
Waupun.
we already have Mavis agreements with all the fire
Right.
departments
But
in
that's for
Fond du Lac
like,
County.
that's for like dispatch, I mean like sitting down and talking about the equipment, the big ticket items.
Yeah, but, yes, that's a good idea. Mavis right now as it exists is only for Fond du Lac County fire
Right.
districts. That's not to say we shouldn't be having these
Right.
conversations with Green Lake and Markesan and,
Something, even if it's just informal.
Yeah.
We're gonna buy this engine, do you really need that? We would be probably, you
Don't you
know,
guys have like a fire chiefs meeting?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, they
we,
can,
we go to the Green Lake Fire Chiefs meeting, we go to the Fond du Lac Fire Chiefs meeting.
maybe that's a place to begin that discussion.
Yeah.
I used to go to those fire chief meetings for Fond du Lac County.
I gotta look and see when they're coming up.
Yeah, we got one coming up.
Yeah, that's a great place to start
I
that
think that's
conversation.
a discussion that we need to go forward with. The money's not getting any better,
No,
and prices are going up, and communities like Ripon and Green Lake and Markesan in Berlin, we're just gonna be struggling to replace the junk that we have for 30 years.
Ain't junk.
Oh, yeah, it is pretty close.
Yeah. How many miles you got in your car?
That's a different kind of animal than the fire
It's a
engine.
different kind of animal, but it's the same, it's not even the same principle.
Yeah, well, these
You know,
engines
when
are
you can put-
old.
When you can put 1,000,000 miles on a semi before you have to overhaul it.
I'm not suggesting we do
$300
that
is
with those
nothing.
engines out
Wait,
there.
put time limit on it.
How about we, how about we,
I just, you know, just because it's old don't mean it isn't good.
I drive an old car, I
how
know.
how about we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Well, he can't make a motion.
Why can't he?
Doug,
No,
Oh, Doug
Doug
did,
did.
okay,
Yeah.
and then
I'll
Gary.
make it.
Second it, yeah.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I.
Aye.
Okay, then you two can duke it out.